score 40-36. While Judge Barbara Perez has it 39-37. All for the winner by unanimous decision, the crown jewel.
You know it's AB, always balling, always boarding, a lot of bills. You know what's going on, man. You know, shout out to Crown Jewels Boxing, man. You know, my people. You know, they get it in over there, straight up.
Lamar Peterson giving a shout out to CrownJewelBoxing.com.
What's good, YouTube? Crown Jewel from Crown Jewel Boxing, back with a gem. I want to come on and speak on something I saw on Fight Hype that disturbed me. Bill Haney saying some really derogatory things about the legendary Bernard Hopkins, and it got really personal, and I thought that was unfortunate. And apparently it was in response to some things that he felt like Bernard had said that were disrespectful to Devin. So me being me, I wanted to go do some research and exactly find what was being said or what was said about Devin that was so bad that put him in a position where he felt like he needed to disrespect Bernard. First, though, I want to play what he actually said about Bernard that I felt like was inappropriate and unfortunate.
For their job, and I really believe that Bernard Hopkins has lost touch with reality and what's real and what is his job to do. It's just really sad that Bernard Hopkins will have not good things to say about young kids like Devin that don't drink, don't smoke, eat right, make weight, that are world champions, that are similar to him, but I thought they were similar to him. But actually, Bernard is nothing like Devin. Devin is a better fighter than him, overall better person, better everything. And Bernard, when you were 23, you were in jail for being a cat burglar, a petty thief at 23. Dev ain't been to jail. He don't smoke, he don't drink, he don't do nothing, and he's an undisputed champion at 23. And you was in the penitentiary. So what do you mean guys aren't like you?
Shout out to FightHype.com. All right, yeah, that was on Fight Hype. That was what Bill said about Bernard. And let's see what Bernard said that was so bad that Bill felt the need to be disrespectful towards him in that manner. Alright, so that was what Bernard said about Devin Haney that got under Bill's skin, and Bill considered it disrespectful and decided to take personal shots at Bernard. Now, I felt the need to come on and make a video in response to the things that Bill said because it was just out of hand. First of all Bernard did was give his professional opinion in saying that he felt like Ryan Garcia was a bigger star than Devin Haney, which means Ryan Garcia versus Tank Davis is a bigger fight than Devin Haney versus Tank Davis. No harm in that, especially since Bernard is a part owner in Golden Boy Promotions, which promotes Ryan. He's talking up his fighter, but no disrespect that I can detect towards Devin Haney. Now, Bill Haney prides himself. He continuously says, anybody says anything wrong about Devin, I'm on your ass. Well, your son is a professional fighter. He's put himself in a position to be critiqued and judged. That comes with it. The public has to be a consumer of his in order for him to make money, to become a star, to ultimately become what you're saying he is. If you can't deal with people having an opinion, like I said, it was no disrespect, it was just an opinion. He gave us an opinion. He felt like Ryan was more popular. I think he is. But some of the things you said, not only do I feel are morally wrong, they're just factually wrong. The thing about calling him a petty thief and the fact that he was in jail at 23, any intellectually stable adult knows that that's low, classless, that's trash. So I don't even need to get into that. But in terms of you saying Devin is a better fighter than Bernard, that's laughable. Bernard is one of the greatest. Like him or love him, I don't agree with everything Bernard says, but the reality is he's one of the greatest middleweights of all time. A first ballot Hall of Famer, light heavyweight champion of the world, and made 20 middleweight title defenses. 20. You can never, at this point, compare Devin Haney in any instance to the legendary Bernard Hopkins. We can go a little deeper. Let's go into his record. Let's talk about some of the wins Bernard Hopkins has that Devin Haney has not come close to at this point in his career. Bernard has wins over Jean Pascal, Roy Jones Jr., Kelly Pavlik, Winky Wright, Antonio Tarver, Howard Eastman, Oscar De La Hoya, Robert Allen, William Joppy, Carl Daniels, Felix Trinidad, Hall of Famer, Keith Holmes, Antoine Eccles, Simon Brown, Glenn Johnson, John David Jackson, all world champions and great fighters in their own right. Devin Haney doesn't have not one win on his resume that is comparable to any of those names I just named. None. Bernard Hopkins is legitimately in the conversation for one of the greatest middleweights of all time. Not to mention, he moved up and won the light heavyweight championship of the world. One of the most iconic fighters we've had over the last 40 years, 30 years. And you're comparing your son, who is the undisputed champion, 23, correct. But he didn't get his undisputed the way Bernard did. Bernard collected each belt one by one in a middleweight tournament in which he beat, ultimately in the final, Hall of Famer Felix Tino Trinidad. But he won one belt at a time to become an undisputed. Your son became undisputed by beating one of the worst undisputed champions in the history of the sport. I don't take it away from him. He is the guy at lightweight. Is he the best fighter at lightweight? No, but he has the titles. Is he the biggest draw at lightweight? No. But to try to tear down Bernard Hopkins merely because he said the fighter that he's connected to is a bigger star than your son is ridiculous. It's utterly ridiculous. And I believe Devin would be a bigger star if it wasn't for the things you say, Bill. The way you act hurts your son, especially when it comes to people like me. I think it's the words you guys use that give Devin an unfair advantage. You say things like, Devin's going to beat the shit out of so-and-so. Devin doesn't really have a style that lends itself to beating the shit out of anybody. He outboxes people. He's a very gifted boxer, but he doesn't beat the shit out of anybody. You make statements like he's going to knock out Gervonta Tank Davis. He ain't scored a knockout in 4 years. You guys say things that his skill set just does not support. He's a very good young fighter, but so are the other young fighters. And it is not disrespect for someone to say that their fighter is more popular than him when it can be factually proven. He's a bigger star. Do I believe Ryan Garcia is a better fighter than Devin? No, but he is a bigger star. And Bernard did not disrespect your son by saying that. And let's be clear, your son has not accomplished 1/10 of what Bernard Hopkins has accomplished. So slow down, relax, understand that people are going to have an opinion. You're in the business, the fight business, where people tend to have a lot of them. It comes with it. You're right. Your son has done well for himself. You have guided your son into a good financial and professional position. But then to attack Bernard and say, well, he hasn't done anything business. We're talking about boxing. We're talking about boxing. And again, he's one of the best middleweights of all time. Your son is not one of the best lightweights of all time. We can't mention him with Shane Mosley and Roberto Duran at this point. May he become that? He might. I don't see it, but he might. He may prove me wrong. But to attack a legend because of his opinion is absolutely ridiculous. Do your son a favor. Stop talking. Because every time you do an interview, you hurt him in the eyes of the public. Until next time, keep your hands up, your chin down, your ass off the floor. Peace.